last night, news broke that the Trump administration was putting a pause on U.S. aid to Ukraine. Well, news reports indicated that President Trump intends to keep his finger on the pause button until he's sure that the Ukrainians are showing an authentic commitment to good faith peace negotiations. And of course, all of this is coming ahead of tonight when literally the eyes of all the American people will be on President Trump as he delivers an address to a joint session of Congress. This is, of course, his first such address since moving back to the White House. And so what can we expect? Here now to discuss all the latest on both fronts is Congressman Scott Perry. He's a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee as well as the Oversight Committee and the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. He represents the 10th Congressional District of Pennsylvania. Congressman Perry, always great to see you. Welcome, my friend.
Well, it's great to be with you, Jody. And I think we're all expecting to hear about the vitality of the American dream, that the American dream is back. And quite honestly, it's not just the eyes of America that will be on President Trump tonight. It is the eyes of the world. As the world comes to grip with an America that has come back, is standing up for itself, is strong, is not going to be bullied around any longer, and is not just going to pay for everybody's problems all around the globe with, carte blanche with nothing in return. And so the other thing is I think President Trump is going to make it plain that elections do matter. In the past, I think what we've determined with his election, that even though we elected somebody, the apparatus of this town, the swamp, as it were, always seems to be in charge. And no matter who you elect, whether it's on the left, on the right, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, you always get the same thing. I think with what's happening with Elon Musk exposing a lot of things with President Trump's executive orders, that there really are consequences to elections, and there's somebody to be held accountable. I think that's what the American people want, whether you're on the left or the right. That is the American dream, to participate in your election and your country and where your vote actually matters, instead of just having the bureaucracy run your life, no matter who you elect.
Absolutely. Well, I think there's going to be a lot of material covered tonight. I can hardly wait. I can only imagine. But let me go to some of your thoughts as it relates to the pause to military aid to Ukraine. How can Zelensky show a commitment to good faith peace negotiations? And what do you think about this whole pause that the president has put forth?
Well, let's face it, Jody. I mean, President Trump is cleaning up the mess that Joe Biden got us into and then just let fester for the balance of 4 years. President Trump is left to clean it up. He stated during the campaign he wants peace. Europe wants peace. Most of the Ukrainian people want peace. Now, they like their territory back, too. We all want Russia out of Ukraine. But this is what's never going to happen. There's never going to be peace. There's never going to be a chance to redress all those issues, including the infractions by Russia and by Vladimir Putin, unless Ukraine comes to the table. And the only way we're going to trust Zelensky at this point is when he's literally signing the document. I hate to say it that way, but we thought he came in good faith the last time to have a conversation and a signature, which would allow this process to begin. And he's the one that blew up the meeting. I guess he thought he could continue to negotiate with America through the leftist media like he did with Joe Biden for 4 years. And he ran into the Trump wall. I don't know why he didn't expect that it was going to go differently, but obviously it has. And now we're seeing the signal that he's ready and willing anytime, any place to sign the deal. I think that's great, but I think we're not going to believe it until we see it.
Yeah, and Trump told him while he was here that he had no cards to play. He had no leverage. And sure enough, when the pause on military aid took place, all of a sudden, here he comes running back.
Yeah, right.
It's gonna be very interesting to see how this unfolds.
Absolutely. We wish he did have leverage. We wish Ukraine could be a sovereign nation on its own and beat Russia. But it's pretty apparent that without the United States in our checkbook, that there's just no chance for that. And we don't have the money for it. We're not putting our troops in peril there to have a proxy war in Ukraine with Russia. So if that's the case, how do we end this quickly? And how do we put Ukraine in the best position to reclaim their territory and repay their debts. And this is the beginning of that discussion.
Absolutely. All right. Now, I've been to many of these joint sessions, spectacular events in every way, historic events. You've mentioned a couple of things. What are some of the other major issues that you anticipate President Trump to cover?
Well, I think President Trump is going to cover just generally what government is supposed to be doing, especially at the federal level, and the things he ran on. So, as you know, border crossings are down, I think, about 97% right now. But we want 100% security of the border. I think President Trump is going to address that. He's also going to address the rising cost of everything in the United States caused by too much borrowing at the federal level post-pandemic, and the need to balance our budgets and get our spending right. He's also, I think, going to address American energy dominance. Energy touches every single component of daily life in America and the cost of daily life in America. Cheaper, more reliable, more clean, more abundant energy produced in America is good for Americans and the world in every single way. And these wrong-headed policies that were, that focused on DEI and the Paris Climate Accord are not good for America. They're not good for the world, and they're not affordable for Americans either. And I think those are key issues that President Trump is going to address, as well as the things he's already accomplished in his just over a month in office.
Yeah, it's been a remarkable month, and we're not even at day 100 yet. So what do you think about the word out on the street, so to speak, that many Democrats are going to be boycotting tonight, or some perhaps even trying to anticipate to disrupt the meeting tonight?
You know, Jody, you've been at these things and you've seen our friends on the left, even when you're talking about, military heroes, they sit on their hands and they boo. There's nothing President Trump is going to do that they'll approve of. And unfortunately, they're going to try and make a spectacle of it. They can't just sit there and be respectful and be the loyal opposition, loyal to the country, but disagreeing with this president. We understand that, but they can never do that. They always have to make it a spectacle. They always have to make fools of themselves. And so I've heard all kinds of things that they're going to walk out. They're going to stand with their backs to the president. They're going to hold up signs. They're going to jeer. It's an embarrassment to the rest of the world for America to be seeing this. And it's an embarrassment upon this once great party that literally just doesn't even exist anymore, and certainly doesn't stand for anything. And it's an embarrassment to the American people in general, and certainly the people in that party that wish that they wouldn't do those kind of things.
Well, we will certainly all be watching. I know it's a great time. I know along the way I've invited people, everyone from my brother on the one hand to Herman Cain type on the other hand. Who are you inviting tonight, and who are some of the other guests that you're hearing will be in attendance?
Well, I tell you the truth, I haven't heard a lot of guests. We asked the Democrats if they didn't want to come, if we could have their tickets, because there's a lot of just regular Americans that never make it to Washington, D.C. that would love very much to come to this great event. And for my part, I've invited my number one. My wife is going to be in attendance, and she rarely comes to Washington. But of course, she's a supporter of the president, and she wants to see what he has to say firsthand and be part of this history as well.
Well, if you weren't inviting her, I thought you were going to invite me. So maybe next time around.
Maybe next time.
Thank you so
Jody.
much. It may be so. Congressman Scott Perry of Pennsylvania, always an honor to have you. We'll be all watching tonight. Thank you for your incredible leadership there in Washington, D.C., and always an honor to have you on Washington Watch.
Well, thank you, Jody. God bless you, your family, and your audience.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you.